Evening, freaks. I'm here to drop in with you and do a little read straight from the hip with lots of lip, but also celebrate the dawning of a new age, that age that's getting kicked off by this Aquarius new moon, supermoon. This is a really pivotal point at this interesting crossroads we've been at collectively for a long time. And I'm really looking forward to just dropping in on the astrology with all of you and having a conversation with the cards. And I'm also going to do a read for each of the elemental signs. Okay, so we'll look at air sign collective first because blessed solar return to all of the Aquariuses out there. It is your time to shine. It's your birthday season. You're bringing in a lot of expansive energy for us to play with. And thanks for coming in and livening things up. I think we all need it right now, right? So here at BroadCoven, we always put whatever sign is having their solar return front of the line. So we'll be reading for air sign collective first, okay? And it's just going to be a collective read. So whatever pops out is what pops out, all right? And then we'll be doing a fire sign collective because we're going to go in order from there, in order of the elemental wheel. And from there, we'll go into water sign collective and we'll finish with earth sign collective and just like really grounding the energy out, all right? Really interesting stuff going on. Really interesting stuff going on. I just looked at the bottom of the deck here that I've been shuffling, and I picked up the deck in reverse. Okay. So we have the Three of Wands in reverse. And this brings up a key point of what we're dealing with right now with this new moon energy that's coming in. We've all been wondering, like, okay, where is it? Hello? Ground control to Major Tom. Is anybody there? Does anybody care? Is anybody listening? Is there anything out there? Have I lost the signal? Like, where is it? Where's this new beginning everybody keeps talking about? And that's the thing. It's all about timing. And we're about to have that missing link taken care of for us with what's going down with this new moon. And that's because the missing link has been synchronicity, that need for everything to line up so synergistically that it brings all of the points of arrival in place, lined up, ready to go, and the steps laid out very succinctly, but it comes in out of the blue. It comes in through inspiration. It comes in on that air element. It comes in on the wind, right? Comes in on the wind. And there's so much inspiration that's going to come in. You'll be surprised. All of a sudden, you'll be, doing the dishes, and here's the answer to this problem you've been struggling with for the longest time. Comes in out of nowhere. That's the energy we're working with. And I mean, we do have Uranus in the mix naturally because it is Aquarius season. And Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. So that's very much expansion and unconventional. It's the rebel energy. It's taking a risk. It's being a little daring. It's doing things in unusual ways. It's not fitting the norm. It's bucking tradition. It is the anarchist. It is the one who is willing to walk on the wild side, take a risk, take a leap. And what's going to happen is there's going to be jump off points that are going to be presented. And these jump off points are to hop you onto a new timeline where you get to create the story as you want to see it roll out. And it's really inspiring energy. All right. So, very much looking forward to diving into this with all of you and just experiencing what's on offer, watching as this season plays out. This full moon coming up on the 5th of February will be in Leo. And it's just such a great time to move forward with even more of that expansion with this moon energy we got coming in today with this super moon, new moon in Aquarius. It's interesting because this super moon has a sextile to Jupiter, and it's also conjunct Pluto. But these are only moderate influences. And the reason for that is these aspects are at a pretty wide orb, okay? So they don't have as much influence as they normally would. Sextile Jupiter is a beneficial aspect, okay? So that does bring, supportive energy for taking some risks, all right? Fortune can favor the bold for sure. I mean, that's definitely in play, but we do have to be mindful with the conjunct Pluto action going on, even though it's a moderate influence. That means that we may be tempted to take risks that are more motivated by our selfishness or just our egoic gratification, operating more out of that shadow side, all right? Just doing things for the sake of doing them, hanging consequences, not really worrying about it. And in some cases, you might be able to, get away with some minor things, all right? Some minor things. Or maybe, it might be like you have to do something a little, a little moving to the left. You know what I'm saying? A little moving to the left, a little unconventionally, and perhaps, kind of giving the finger to authority, giving the finger to the shoulds, giving the finger to traditions, um, obligations, ways that you feel confined or stuck. Okay. But there's still this aspect to it to be mindful of, because the major influence we have is we have Mercury keen 6 Mars. And this is very significant. This is happening at a very tight orb, 1 degree orb. And it's very interesting the way this comes in, because first we had Mars was retrograde, right? And then Mercury went retrograde, and they both stopped at 150 degrees on the 8th degree of Gemini and Capricorn. That's a lot lining up, okay? So they were moving backwards, one led the other, Mars first, then Mercury came in, and they ended up lining up perfectly, exactly 150 degrees on the 8th degree of Gemini and Capricorn. So this is what we're heading into right now. Aquarius is bringing things together in a very unusual way, a very uncanny way. There's going to be a lot of synchronicity coming in. And I've been talking about it for a while. But this is a big time when people are syncing up with their soulmates, their soul family, all right? 8:44 on the clock when I said that, all right? So this is the time when we're going to see this manifest, all right? And this is because you're meant to connect with certain people because they're building blocks for moving things forward, for the changes to come. And we are all stepping into that Fool energy. Let's remember, Aquarius is the Fool in the tarot. So this is the beginning of a new cycle. We're going to see what is on the other side of that deep dive we've all been doing with the Scorpio South Node, integrating our shadow, getting over our shit, choosing to rise and go above it, right? Into that Taurus North Node, where we understand our worth, our value, what we bring to the table, and the quality that we want to nurture in our lives. And that has everything to do with how we show up, right? So we're doing a lot of transformational work right now. That's not done. It's not done by any means. We still have all the way until July before the nodes change, all right? And then they move into Libra and they move into Aries as the North Node. So South Node Libra, all right? That's when we're really going to find things balancing out in terms of our relationships with others. We're also going to find that people that we have karma with, people we have work to do with. Karma is an action, okay? Certain actions that we need to take with certain people because it's part of our life path. It's part of our spiritual growth. It's part of our purpose, part of being here. we come together with certain people and they lead us to certain lessons and we experience certain growth. And then this leads to bringing something new into the world. This is what the journey is all about, and this synchronicity is really coming in strongly. So we're linking up with our soulmates. And some soulmates, sure, there can be romance there, but soulmates are people that are just very important on your personal soul's path and your journey into evolution, evolving, going up the next level, not staying in stagnancy, which is what you do when you stop growing, when you shut down to life. A lot of people are kind of in this space where they feel like nothing has really been moving, right? Things have felt stuck. It's felt like just such a slow start, kind of this feeling of being at the bardo, like in that liminal space, in between space between the old life and the new life. And that's because we've been missing something. We've been missing the synchronicity, that thing that comes in from out of the blue, that comes in at the 11th hour, and it saves our ass. It gives us a way through. It gives us a way forward. It gives us a way out. It gives us a way up. It gives us a way to get down to the, down to the basis of things and build new from there, often with new people, not always though, okay? But with people that, you got current connections going on with, you can be guaranteed that what you bring forward now in your connection is going to be very different, all right? There's a lot of transformation going on. There's going to be a lot of changes happening. And this energy is only going to be progressing. It's going to continue to progress. This is not changing anytime soon. It's like it's time for us to, move out of this hermit energy and start to step into expansion. It's about taking what we learned during that time of being in the shadow, all right, and leading up until that change in the nodes of destiny when that Scorpio South node moves into Libra, and then we got, the North node, Taurus, moving back into Aries. All right, so whole different ball game then, a continuation of the theme of 2022, where it was all about that oppositional energy between Mars and Venus. Okay, and we got Mars as front and center with this particular lunar cycle that is really because of that Mercury Mars Q6, it's really amplifying the energy that is coming into play with that. So this energy is all about everything to do with communication. It has everything to do with communication. We have to also look at the fact that we got Aquarius hosting this new moon. And Aquarius has a lot to do with online communication too, networking, the World Wide Web. So publicity is something that can be front and center, getting your name out there, interacting with other people, expanding your circle, making connections, having communications, putting your thoughts, your ideas out there, your inspirations. It's great for any kind of innovators. It's great for teachers. It's great for writers. It's great for people who have something to say, for people who have a platform, for people who want to have a platform. There is just so much coming in around expansion through communication. Those who have a hard time with communication are going to find a lot of challenges with this cycle, okay? We have to remember, we got Mars in the mix, all right? We got Mars in the mix, and this energy is amplified. What that means with this amplification is we're really going to feel the effects of this Mercury-Mars Q6 for a good 4 weeks. So this energy is going to be with us for a bit, all right? And we're all going to be challenged to, have a little bit of that Jupiter daring. We do have that beneficial aspect, be bold, take some risks, put your ideas out there, like make your dreams happen, go after your visions. It's time to move out of that that hermit energy and all the healing work you've been doing, the time you've been spending in reflection. And it's time to bring forward that light, shine it out into the world. What did you gain during your time when you were in the shadow? What did it awaken in you? What did it stir in you? I'm sure you got a vision. I'm sure you got a vision. And if you feel like your vision is blocked at this time, do some clearing work. Do something to, clear out ajna, the third eye, so you can open up your vision and see your way forward. A good way to do that is it's really simple. I mean, you can do smoke cleansing over, the third eye. You can also anoint the third eye with an oil, and in particular, if you have something that's like a sacred oil that you can bring in, like even just like a drop of like sandalwood oil just on the third eye, just to bring some attention, some reverence there. Meditation is excellent as well for clearing out the third eye, as is working with a neti pot. Okay, neti pot is excellent for keeping it moving, not letting this channel get all clogged with all this outside information, ideas, opinions, stuff coming in. This stuff is going to pick up more too, okay? And with that Mars energy in the mix, sometimes that will be fueled by a bit of irritability, a bit of competitiveness, a bit of combativeness, okay? A bit of people being on their high horse, So it's going to be necessary to really keep your vision clear and not have it be, pulled in different directions and distracted by different dramas that can crop up during this cycle. It is amplified. All right. So we got Mercury and we got Mars energy amplified. So we got to look at the shadow and light. And it was 1717 on the clock when I said that. Got to look at the shadow and the light of these aspects. Okay. So Mercury amplified means good news for us, right? Because we are still in a Mercury retrograde post shadow, right? Won't be until February, until we're, into February before we start to really feel things moving forward. But when they move forward, it's going to be moving forward to the tune of that like 8 of Wands kind of energy, okay? Things are going to start happening now, and it's going to be like a domino effect, because that synchronicity, that missing link is coming in. Everything is lining up. It was 1755 on the clock when I said that. 1, 7, okay, that's 8. With the 1, it's new beginnings. With the 7, there's spiritual support for this. It's going to be stuff that's aligned with your soul. You're going to feel it. You're going to hit that connection point that you meet with the 8 turned on its side when it becomes the infinity symbol, okay? There's a continuation that goes on here. There's a continuation with the energy. And it brings about the change. It brings about the change that's been needed. And it's going to be very powerful for all this. Are you kidding me? The bottom of the deck. 8 of Wands. I'm telling you, it's going to get moving. It's going to get moving really fast. And this is because everything is lining up. And that's what's been missing. It's been a matter of timing. Okay. Everything has been about timing. And we really have felt like we've been held back for a long time, but you're going to understand why I'm getting so much sentience right now. You're going to understand why when you see how this all lines up, okay? Because when it lines up, you're going to go, there must be something out there. So even non-believers, man, will be like, there must be some directing force out there, because the way all of these things had to line up just like so to bring this my way. There's some magic working in this world. Call it spirit, call it magic, call it a force, the force. All right. It is being awakened, and you're going to see some very unexpected things happen. And these unexpected things can be really wonderful. And that's what I want you to remember, is that we're moving into this place of expansion, all right? Expansion. And there is this energy backing us with Jupiter that says, yeah, where you feel really aligned with your heart, where you've got that inspiration that comes in out of the blue and it like lights you up and you're like, oh my gosh, this is it. Like, I got to make this happen. Feed that. Feed that, feed it. The inspiration is coming in for a reason. Trust. As you start to feed it, you're going to see synchronicity lining up for you. You're also going to have people coming around that it's like, oh my gosh, you're showing up at the perfect time. It's the perfect time for us to connect. You're working on that too. Oh my gosh, let's pull our energies together. Let's see what we can make happen. A lot of, kind of coming together with people on this level where you're moving into a creative space together, a lot of creativity coming forward. And it's a really, really beautiful energy. This is also a good time to, at the same time as you're moving into this expansion, to exercise a little patience. And we just had something fall down on the floor here. So I think this is a good time to stop and have a look at what these cards are saying here. Yeah, have a little patience. Look, we got the Three of Wands. That's the ships coming in that you want to see come in with the Knight of Swords. Okay, air sign collective, front and center. Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. All right, there's this chomping at the bit. Like, all right, we've been hanging out here for a hot minute, and I'm ready for that rebirth. Okay, air sign collective, you're feeling this really strongly. You're ready for that rebirth. You're like, okay, enough here sifting through the rubble. I'm ready to rise from those ashes and I'm ready to get this thing moving. And I think a lot of you are taking some very decisive action. You want to take some very decisive action. You know exactly where you're going. You have your vision. You know what you're creating for yourself. You're very confident in your communication. Your communication is very clear at this time. 22:02 on the clock when I said this, okay? A lot of truth to be spoken and a lot of clearing things up, and it clears the way, all right? Clears the way. It brings in exactly what you're looking for. I also feel like if you're doing anything in terms of communications, okay? If you're working online, if you are a public speaker, if you do anything in the field of writing or journalism, or you've been thinking about it, maybe you've been thinking about writing that book, get on it. Now's the time. I actually would be a really wonderful time to focus on that, because with this Keen 6 and that Mars energy amplified, we do want to make sure we don't do anything too impulsively. So you might be wanting to take some risks, or you might be feeling a little rebellious. You might be tapping more into that Aquarian energy of like rebellion. Like I'm going to march to the beat of my own drummer. And at one viewpoint, it's like, yes, that's wonderful. Please do, do the unconventional, go for what lights you up, work with that creativity. On another level, be mindful that you're not acting without really making an informed choice about how you want to invest your energy. Know what you're working with, employ the intellect, be sharp, use that sort of discernment is very important. And know how to temper things, because hindsight's 2020. There's a reason why that saying exists. Hindsight is 2020, and hindsight 2020 came in because people acted impulsively and looked back and went, fuck, I wish I would have just taken a few extra moments, to really like make sure I know what I'm dealing with here before I strike out and make a move. So that coming in very strongly, and the energy is going to build. You're going to want to move with it, right? So there's some of this, just hold your horses a little bit, all right? Yes, move into this expansion, all right? But as you do, make sure that you're waiting for that synchronicity to line up for you. It's coming in. You'll know when it's time to act. Yeah, we got beginnings coming in here. Water sign collective. This is news coming in. It inspires the emotions. It gets us to emotionally connect, which means we start feeling excited. We start having our dreams activated. We start feeling that tug in our heart space. It says, yeah, this is it. This is what I want to do. This is where I want to go. This is where I want to invest my energy. Okay. Water sign collective, also front and center with that, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Okay. So this is all looking really good, I want to get into actually doing a read for each of the elemental signs. That pretty much captures the energy in play. We do have some fixed stars that are having an influence too, and it's ironic because these fixed stars and they're conjunct, okay? Let's see, I wrote them down. We have the Mercury conjunct the fixed star Facies. And that's really good for fueling the ambitions, okay? It's like it stokes your fire. It makes you really want to do what it takes to strike out and make that vision happen, like pull it down from the ether through that inspiration and actually use your fire to bring it forward in the world and activate. See it manifest. Do the damn thing instead of just sitting around dreaming about it. Big time, like Dr. Frankenfurter, Rocky Horror Picture Show energy. Don't dream it, be it. Be it right now. And hey, he was a freak, man. That's like total Aquarius vibes right there. Like no rules. Like do you, be you, and work with that energy. Be bold. Get out there and run with those inspirations. Absolutely, that energy is very supportive for that, and it can garner attention. Like this is what's going to draw attention right now. This is what is going to be desirable. So don't hold yourself back in terms of your creative expression, or putting yourself out there with the things that are really like fueling your heart. It's more about your communications, right? Your communications with other people you want to be aware of, and just making sure that you're also creating patience and communications, which means allowing some space for listening. This is important too, right? Listening is important when it comes to communications, also to arrive at an informed choice, right? So this coming in very strongly. And then there's also, the need to be mindful of the Mars influence with that too. It's like, okay, yes, ambition, but we don't want to go emperor reverse energy in pursuit of ambitions. We don't want to have an I'm at a board, pull up the ladder mentality, or step on people's toes, or be abrasive or combative or competitive. Okay, so there's a need to be mindful of these things and think more in terms with that Aquarian spirit, like, hey, how can we benefit each other? How can we work together? How can we grow and expand together? So, like working with your networking, putting yourself out there, maybe do little collaborations with different people. Amazing things can come out of it, things that you wouldn't even expect right now, right? So be open to these sorts of things, all right? It's less of the soul. Oh, I'm still having a little bit of that tripping up on my words, I've been dealing with a little bit of that lately. Always do around a Mercury retrograde, but that's okay. Getting ahead of myself, all right? Slow down, have patience, all right? Um, yeah, there's that piece of, you know, don't bite off more than you can chew in your ambition either, right? Don't bite off more than you can chew. Don't rush ahead too much. Like there's something about, slow and steady, wins the race. It's about just like moving with the energy, but not trying to force it, not forcing it before it's time, waiting for those timing points to come in. Really, really important. Because Mars is conjunct a fixed star AIM. And this star is very aggressive. It has more of the fiery qualities in similarity with Mars, all right? 29:22 on the clock when I said that. It's brave. It's bold. It's full of piss and vinegar and courage. It has zero concentration. All right. So that's messy. That's messy. And you want to be aware because with this networking, publicity stuff in the mainframe, if you move messy, man, you're not going to like the publicity you get. And you got to think long term about how that's really going to affect your quality of life. It's significant and it is all about hitting the target. These fixed stars are in the constellation Sagittae, the arrow, okay, and Cygnus, the swan. So this really gives us a clue about working with these energies, that arrow energy. We want to hit the mark. That Sagittarius energy is also very much about expansion, right? Bold, expansive. But we all know Sagittarius can sometimes put their foot in their mouth. And I ain't hating, okay? I'm not hating at all because I'm a Sagittarius stellium and I have a Sagittarius moon and a black moon Lilith, okay? So I know how to be rebellious for sure, okay? And I also have a Sagittarius Neptune. All right. So I know about this energy. I'm familiar with this energy. And ironically, I have my Sagittarius stellium is in the third house, that third house of Gemini, and it's all about communication. And it's very interesting because of that. Um, that Q6 went down on the 8th degree of Gemini and Capricorn. All right. So I know about this energy. I know that this can happen. That's what can happen, right? You can be a little too mouthy. You can pop off. You can get a little too full of yourself, a little too big for your britches. This kind of energy, it can cause problems. It can impact in a negative way. All right. So the main thing to pay attention to is just like slow the roll. All right. Slow the roll and everything will turn out just fine. So 31, 44, 444 on the clock. I love it. We're going to get into shuffling the petals here. Wow. I'm telling you, synchronicity. All right. Seeing numbers, that's something that'll come through. Pay attention to your numbers. I'm going to be bringing in more of the numerology videos. I got a lot of stuff I've been focusing on and I've wanted to do it all. Right. So it's also about that too. Like the energy can have a tendency to, since it's so big and amplified with Mercury, to become a bit scattered. You can spread yourself out a little thin. So make sure you're you know getting things kind of like focused. Now is not the time to be in that 7 of cups, like, oh well, maybe a little bit of this, a little bit of that, uh you know maybe bring this person and that person. You're going to dissipate the energy and then it's going to all come to naught. It's about using that arrow energy of that Sagittae, the arrow constellation, to really have your focus, have your focus, have your target. And then it's interesting because with Cygnus, the swan, it's all about the grace, right? The grace to go with the flow, the grace to trust in the timing, to know when it's time to act, which you'll know by how you're feeling. You know, everything is going to be very much led from that place of your creative center, your intuitive knowing. So get in touch with your center, like actually get in touch with your belly, get in touch with your gut, with your gut instincts. You're going to need to go with the flow and feel your way through, but you're going to feel the flow where things have been stuck, where things have been blocked up. You're going to start feeling movement. Okay. And that absolutely means on the physical too. So if you've been feeling sluggish, if you've been feeling a little run down, now would be the perfect time. We also got kapha season coming in. Now would be the perfect time to start like getting the lymph moving, get your body moving, get some exercise in, start drinking, the water, really hydrate. You can do, a couple glasses of lemon water first thing in the morning when you get up, get the detoxification process going, bring in your gua sha, bring in your salt scrubs. All of these things are so good right now. And then just moving towards more light, more fresh, with your food, and really just getting everything kind of stirred up. Add the spices, the gingers, have the curries. All of these things will really get things moving, and it's time to start bringing in some of those bitters. All these things support the digestion of things too. And I always like to bring this piece in the physical body. It anchors it all. It anchors it all. Okay, so really good time to just do a cleansing and keep with that cleansing and start with the physical body and do the cleansing baths, work with the energy body, Work with your environment. Start your spring cleaning early. All of this stuff is a great way to work with that energy moving forward, okay, as you wait for all the pivotal points of synchronicity to get in place and line up that will lead you to your next step for your big stuff, right? Your big beginnings, all right? Begin at home first. Begin here first. All right, so we're going to first start with just shuffling for air sign collective. And we'll do the reads after, okay? This is just the shuffling portion, just in case some messages come through. Shuffling for air sign collective and what is in store for them in this lunar cycle. Okay, Page of Cups still on the bottom there. Interesting that Page of Cups is like the new emotional beginning, the new thing that like stirs the heart. Finally moves you into that place of kind of excitement, like the heart space feels activated and excited about what's to come. There's something, some news that comes in Air Sign Collective. We'll see what that's all about. We have one card here, upright, and it's covered by a crossing influence. So there's going to be some kind of important decision, action, movement taken in this lunar cycle for you, okay? Let's shuffle for Fire Sign Collective. Fire Sign Collective in this lunar cycle leading up to that full moon on the 5th of February in Leo. What's coming in? Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. We had something flip up. It's upside down, but it's interesting what's upside down. And both of these cards are leaning towards Air Sign Collective. So Fire Sign Collective, you might have something going on with Air Sign Collective in this particular period. I'm going to leave those exactly as they came out there. That's very significant. All right, interesting. You got a little bit of sort of like a U-turn energy going on, Fire Sign Collective. All right. Let's see here. What is coming in for Water Sign Collective? Something just fell on the floor there for Water Sign Collective. All right. Yeah, that's interesting. All right, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. You got a little bit of U-turn energy as well, but it's more like more resistance related. Okay, we'll talk about that Water Sign Collective. And then what's going on for Earth Sign Collective? Earth is trying to cover fire. I'm sorry, that just made me laugh. One card came out and flew all the way across, and it's covering. It's actually trying to block. It looks like this is how I'm interpreting it. All right. It looks like Earth is trying to come in and block movement that fire wants to take toward air. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. It's interesting the way it came out. It's also a piece coming in about Earth's wanting to put out a fire. Maybe there's something that is stirring. Maybe something's been stirred up. Maybe tempers are flared. Maybe there's agitation, irritation, jealousy. We're talking about these Mars energies, the combative energies. There might be something you're trying to like put a stop to. Might be with a fire sign energy. All right, we're going to keep that exactly as it came out, and we're going to dive into this. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what comes through here. These are just going to be little short reads. Okay, they're just kind of like a general overview. But I did want to get this coming in for us because I thought it would be fun. I think I'll get the super awesome future cards out that I can do like a clarification or a theme card with. All right. So let me get this banner up. I made banners for each of the elementals. Let's see here. Here we go. All right. Air Collective. I'm dying to know what these cards are. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we have the Five of Swords, right? There's really a sense of betrayal here, all right? And the Two of Pentacles. I feel like there has been a real wounding that has happened for a lot of the air sign collective. And this is what's sort of front and center for you right now. You're in the process of feeling like there needs to be a balance here. Something needs to be balanced out here because this isn't right. That's the sense that I have. There's something that feels out of balance. You see this with, the Two of Pentacles. One is much higher than the other. And there's this um, charging forward and charging forward emotionally too. I'm noticing this like because through the waters, charging forward emotionally. And it's throwing everything off balance. This gives me the feeling that somebody, air sign collective, and this is very general, okay? So please just like activate your intuition because I'm talking to a lot of different people right now. I'm talking to the entire air sign collective. But this gives me the feel that somebody took an action. They took an action, it was emotionally motivated. They might have even taken this action when they were in a highly emotional space. But there was something that was really spurred on by the emotions and just went for it, moved too quickly. It threw everything out of balance. It threw something out of balance. And ever since, there's been this need to try to get things stabilized. You've been just trying to get yourself stabilized. I feel like something happened here that it felt like a betrayal. Okay. In some cases, this can be that, somebody was playing with your emotions or you felt like somebody was playing with your emotions. It could also be a matter of, I always get with the Two of Pentacles, like a juggling energy. Like maybe, somebody you were in a relationship with was juggling you, and that can be juggling you with a side piece, somebody on the side, but it can also be like you weren't a top priority. You were kind of like on the back burner. They were putting energy into their work. They were putting energy into other things, and you weren't a priority. So you're still working on finding the balance here and also wanting to see balance in this situation. So let's get an overarching theme. I think you're going to be continuing to work on this. I also feel like you're working on your stability here. Yeah, look at this. Got infinity and it's in reverse. Okay. So there's something that is out of balance here. And with this eight energy, the infinity symbol looks like an eight, right? This eight energy is about power, right? So something's out of balance when it comes to the power dynamic here that needs to be restored. This is a number 9, all right? So this is something that needs to come to an end, hasn't come to an end, and there's something being reviewed here, all right? So this is about what needs to happen in a connection, in a relationship to restore a sense of balance, a sense of balance. And that's so funny with Libra being in that mix, but I feel like this is karmic balancing. You're going to see some kind of karmic balancing come through. I'm going to turn this upright and I want to do a kind of the deck on that and see what is this karmic balance going to look like for air sign collective. What is this karmic balance going to look like for air sign collective? We got Queen on the bottom here. Okay. There's the 2 again, this 2 energy. So it looks like you're understanding your worth, looks like you're understanding your value. All right. This is about rising up into that Taurus North Node energy. And we also have Hawk medicine here. So gaining a perspective, you've had some perspective with distance. Okay. So I feel like you're back in your rightful place. You're back in your rightful energy. With that Queen energy, certainly can apply for a man as well. It's just very much, back in touch with your emotions and ready to get back to a place of, moving into your creativity, because that's what that queen energy, that feminine energy is all about. All right. Or you may need to find balance with the queen. Yeah, look at this. We got spaceship on the crossing energy with the 7. This is a 7 year. 7 is luck. It's also spiritual support. Okay, so you're about to move into expansion with this spaceship energy. This is like whole new world energy here. All right, you're about to have a lot of people coming into your life, and it's very significant. These people are not just fly by the seat of their pants. These people are going to be part of your life for a while. They're part of your new chapter. You're going to be opening up to travel. You're going to be doing some things you haven't done before. There's going to be some opportunities that come your way, like out of the blue, and you're going to be surprised. Like you never thought you would have this opportunity. Maybe you didn't envision yourself doing what you're doing, or what you will be doing. But I see something taking off, and it leads to expansion. I feel like those of you who are in any kind of communications field or doing anything online, you're going to see this expansion. You're going to be reaching more people. You're going to have more visibility. You're going to become more known for what you're doing. But I also see there's some very special connections coming in. And I feel like this is where you're going to experience that balancing. And it may be that somebody that, things have been out of balance with for a while. Maybe you connect, maybe you go on a trip together. Maybe it's a trip, to the outer limits of the mind. It's a trip to have this person back around. It's a trip to be talking to them again. It's a trip to be working through this together and seeing what it is now. Okay. It was 47 on the clock when I started on that. So that's 11 energy, some kind of alignment coming on the horizon there. And looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. This is something that's been brewing behind the scenes with this cat energy. There's that 11 again. Okay, brewing behind the scenes. There's some talk about this. All right, there's some talk about this. Stuff's brewing. I think you have people. There's a little bit of buzz around you too. That's what I'm picking up. So be live to that energy. All right. All right. Fire sign collective. Let's see. You have the 2 of Wands and you have the 3 of Swords, okay? And it came up like this. And it was 47 on the clock when I said that. That's 11. And it's interesting because, like I said, they came out and they were slanted, and they were slanted down over towards the air collective pile. So fire sign energy, you may be revisiting something with air collective. Okay, we have 3 of Swords in the reverse, and we have 2 of Wands upright. All right, so this gives me U-turn energy. All right, you may have been dealing with somebody that has a strong air sign placement in their chart. This could also just be somebody that you had to take some space from. There was some kind of ending, some kind of separation in your life. There's been hurt around this. There's been heartache around this. I think maybe for a while you felt disconnected from your feelings around this. You might have kind of shut down feelings around this. You may have gone a bit cold around it at times. That's because you went through a period where it was very painful. But I see that you're coming out the other side of this energy, this 3 of Swords. 3 of Swords has another meaning to it. It's usually a temporary separation. It's a temporary situation. You think about 3 of Swords. After the 3 of Swords comes the 4 of Swords, right? And the 4 of Swords is when you turn it over, right? You turn it over, you let it go. And what we got going on right now is synchronicity, aligning things. And I feel like this for you is a matter of timing. And there's somebody you're revisiting, there's something you're coming back to. It can be a person, place, thing, okay? So don't get locked in any one viewpoint. Yes, it could be somebody romantically. It could be a friend, that you need to go back and drop in with. It could be an opportunity that was on the table and you're like, you know what? Maybe I should have taken that opportunity. I need to go back and see about that. But this is about you having a different view that's inspiring you to move forward and look at things in a different way, okay, with this Two of Wands here. And let's see. Let's go ahead and do, let's do overarching energy here. Yeah, there's something here about you're wanting to move forward in a situation in a different way than you had in the past. You want to take a different kind of action than you did before. You realize that there's like a missed opportunity. That's what I get. There's like a missed opportunity. And I feel like things are going to line up that are going to make it possible. Yep. Boom. Do you hear that? I don't know. You probably didn't hear the card hit the table, but it just like came down, boom, landed right on top of that Two of Wands. And we got the Sun here. And with that 35, that's 8, that's manifestation. Okay, that's happiness. There's also something about direction here, okay, because there's like a compass in the Sun. So I think you needed some time to find your direction, and now you're clear where you want to go. There's definitely movement forward coming for you. It may start more in the form of like inspiration, then lead to like communication. That's how it gets started. Might even get started online. I do see it happening in Aquarius season. If you're not dealing with an air sign in this situation, it may just be that air influence because it was so strongly connected. It's happening in Aquarius season. You know, you're going to start to see this really go down. And you may also see it progress in Gemini season as well. You may be dealing with a Gemini, okay? That piece coming in too. All right. So that's what I got for you, Fire Sign Collective. A lot lining up and it looks interesting. Let's see. Water Sign Collective. You went away from something, okay? But now you're like doubting if it's the right decision to let this thing go and move beyond it. You got the Six of Swords in reverse. Maybe you saw a situation one way, but as you got further away from it, it gave you a different perspective. And you're also kind of realizing maybe some things that need to be cleaned up back there. There's this sort of sense of you're wanting to revisit. You're wanting to revisit something. You need to go back. You need to go back, you know. This is also partially, I feel like that's the message coming through. That's kind of like the higher road of it, you know. I'm getting almost a piece of like, it feels like cleanup work is what I'm picking up, like cleanup work. But there's this piece coming through too, the Six of Swords. You know, normally the Six of Swords, you see the figure in the boat in the traditional tarot, and they're carrying the swords forward with them. They're carrying the grief, the wounding, the pain forward with them. And in this particular card, with this Paulina tarot, she's pushed him aside. She's pushed the swords aside. She's got a free passage. Like she's like, I'm not carrying any of this forward with me. I am free and clear, baby. Independently owned, operated, heading toward my beautiful future and what I want it to be. And I'm not carrying any swords with me, you know, except the sword of truth I carry within myself. But this is in reverse. So this is like holding on to the pain, holding on to the grudge, holding on to the resentment, the feelings, you know. So I feel like this is something you're really going to be working on during this cycle, like clearing out the energy that's left over from some of the bitter experiences that you went through. You know, we all still have shadow work that we need to do. But I'm curious, like, what's on the other side for Water Sign Collective if they do this work, if they start to kind of unravel this? There might be some communication needed. Might be very important to get some communication coming in around this. Water Sign Collective, we got the snake, temptation. There's that 8 energy. Very interesting. You know, 8's coming in. This may be the result of a temptation. There could have been a temptation that led you astray or led someone else astray that you were connected to. This caused a problem. There could be some kind of deception in this situation. I think there is potentially like sexual motivation You know, we do have some snakes in the grass. Like there's some interference energy here, okay? This has clandestine all over it. This has vibes of somebody doing something beneath the surface. It's got the vibes of manipulation, you know, is coming through. You have to feel out what side you're on. You'll know if you acted out of your shadow or if you're dealing with somebody who dealt with you in this way. This has settle a score energy coming through, to be honest with you. I feel like it's really necessary to be patient with this situation, with this astrology, like feel things out, you know, before you think about settling a score, especially know your role in that situation. 55 on the clock, it might change things in a way you don't want them to change. It could be really disruptive, okay? And if you're dealing with somebody like this, you know, be mindful about moving forward. You might be having some communication. This might be around like wanting to take a trip with somebody, you know, and you know this person is like there's something about it. There's something about it that's like this person's spoken for, or you know, they're in a relationship. You know, I don't know, there's just something here that's not quite right. You need to look at it more closely, take your time and not act so impulsively, because the potential here to really make a mess is pretty strong. That's what I'm picking up. There's something that needs to be reviewed here, and there's something that needs to be done in a different way. And I feel like if this is about moving things forward with somebody and they're not available yet, they're not available, it's either about extricating yourself from the situation, or it's about letting go of what you need to let go of or they need to let go of to make it happen and get on the same page and doing things above board. All right. This coming through. That's what I got for you. Okay. And man, Earth sign collective, you got one card. You were trying to put out that fire, okay? And this is the 10 of Wands. So something is overwhelming you. I think something's grown into something you didn't want it to be, you know? You were hoping it turned out another way, but it ended up being a big burden for you, right? I think this is also about you not overextending yourself, Earth Sign Collective. I think this is about really looking at where you can let some things go. Where are you holding things that aren't your responsibility? Where can you release yourself from the burden? Where are you feeling, you know, a sense of heaviness and like you're taking on more than is your fair share? Maybe this is more than your share of responsibility. This piece coming in, you might really be wanting to move forward fast and see things growing, but you're kind of feeling like this one thing, I feel like it's one thing you're fixated on. You feel like it's just not growing in the way that you wanted it to, or how you thought things would turn out ended up going in a different direction. So let's see what's coming in with synchronicity around this, okay, for you all. What's coming in for Earth Sign Collective in terms of synchronicity and this lunar cycle, okay? You got two, all right? Ooh. All right. Crossing influence. You got the dogs and you have the queen in reverse. You need to get a different perspective here, all right? With the hawk medicine in reverse, there is something you're not seeing. And what I think it is that you got somebody in your circle that's actually not beneficial to you. You shouldn't be aligning yourself with this person. And you're going to have to figure this out. This is a bit of this like frenemy kind of energy, all right? It seems like there's loyal connection here with the dogs, all right? It seems like there's loyal connection here. But you can't trust all these people, all right? And these people might be kind of passing the buck on you. I just got this, you know? Maybe you're taking more than the fair share of responsibility for something that, you know, more than just you had your hands in, okay? So there's something here, but you need to question some loyalty